Extra credits, no! Well, hello everyone. Okay, so today we were taking a look at extra credit. I used to actually watch extra credits a long time ago. But here's the thing, I don't know why I just stopped. And it has been years since I last checked out on them. Well, to tell you the truth, the last time I checked extra credits was during the I didn't choose to be a Nazi fiasco. But hey, maybe they changed, right? Well, no, that's not what I heard. As you can see, people are quite vocal about this video. This is not usually what I do. I'm not a response channel. But I deal a lot with, logic and shit like that. And apparently, this video has a shit ton of broken logic. So why don't we take a look, shall we?
If you paid attention to the game's discourse on the internet during 2019 and 2020, you might have noticed a reoccurring argument about some species from fantasy media, specifically orcs.
Yep, I remember that discourse, if you can call it that. Don't do this, extra credits. Please don't go there. Oh, by the way, I haven't watched this video yet. I just heard so many good things about it. So I decided to take a look. But seriously, if this video is about this, I might as well just throw this response of mine out of the window, because people that compare orcs to real life people are just insane. I don't think there's a better way to put it. Well, I just hope this video doesn't go there.
Now, not to worry. This episode isn't going to be just another member of the chorus talking about how if all orcs in a game are blindly evil, that it's racist.
You know what? That doesn't deserve a response. But thank you, extra credits. You're not going to go there. That's actually quite brave of you. Thank you.
Instead, we want to
brave or intelligent, I don't know. Well, the video will show it anyway.
Discuss how that particular choice is simply bad game design. Thanks so much to NordVPN for sponsoring today's episode.
This video was sponsored. God damn it, Nord. Jesus fuck. Like, sponsors don't care what you put on your video? Like, did Nord not see this video and stop and think to them, like, oh, maybe it's not a good idea to associate ourselves with such a shit take? You know it's a shit take when you see this, right? Jesus fuck.
To take control of your internet security, get a huge discount on a 2-year plan.
Skip.
Real quick up top, please welcome James Mendez-Hodes, who guest wrote this episode. Thanks so much, Mendez.
I don't know who James Mendez-Hodes is, but I don't know if extra credits is just trying to give credit to who wrote the episode, or if this is like a plausible deniability type of shit. Well, I don't know.
Much of the recent conversation on orcs points out that characterizing a whole species in your game as ugly, warlike, and malevolent might be harmful to real-world groups regularly mischaracterized as ugly, warlike, and malevolent.
Extra credits, no! Don't do this! Why did you brought this up? Holy shit! Oh my god. Jesus. Do I really have to point out that if you look to an orc who's malevolent and all the shit that you just pointed out, and you think, yeah, this reminds me of that one group of people, it's not the game who's racist. You're the one being racist. What the fuck? Oh my god.
However, this video isn't that. Though if you want more...
Thank you, yeah. No, yeah. 1 minute into a 8-minute video, and that's the only thing you talked about. Okay.
More on that discussion, Mendez breaks it down wonderfully over on his website, and we'll have a link to that in the description.
If the only thing that Mendes does in his website is to break down this stupid fucking notion, don't go to Mendes' website. Save yourself the trouble. Don't do this.
But here, we're going to talk about something related. Why characterizing a group like this in your game can be lazy at best and at worst, actively harmful to the world you're creating.
Actively harmful to the world you're creating? Isn't that the point of an evil race? They're harmful towards the world. That's why you're trying to stop them. Okay. A minute and 15 seconds in, and I'm already confused. But okay, go ahead. Knock yourself out.
Designing a game's world and populating it with fictional species, a designer might be tempted to differentiate them from one another by certain inalienable qualities, like their moral alignment.
You have to do this. You're not tempted to do this. You have to do this. Like, how are you going to separate different species, different type of creatures without... God damn it. Okay, so you have to do this, right? You have to give the creatures bodies. You have to give them different points of view. You have to give them different moral alignment. Otherwise, everyone in the game is going to be just a fucking gray blob.
Violent versus peaceful, law versus chaos, good versus evil, and the like. It's a common trope in speculative fiction, but especially in the context of a game, painting an entire species with the same moral brush actually weakens the entire thing.
Wait. Painting a creature? No, you're not painting a creature. They are evil. Okay, so when you're creating a world, you're essentially God in that world, right? You don't take a creature who could be good and paint them evil. It's your world. You're telling your players that they are evil. There's nothing else you can do. This is stupid. It's like painting, in a canvas, and then you paint a violent orc, and people say, "Oh, I can't believe you made that orc violent." Like, bitch, I'm the creator. I'm the god of this fucking world. I'm creating the world. If I tell you that the creature is evil, there's nothing you can do about that. The creature is evil.
This idea that a certain subgroup, like race, nationality, or sex...
Wait. Race, nationality, or sex? We're not talking about that. We're talking about specific species. Okay? This is not like different types of humans. This is not like Asian and white people and whatever the hell you want. It's not it's not like a different characterization of the same species. It's a completely new species.
Has inalienable traits, is called biological essentialism or simply bioessentialism. And it's a valid way to talk about qualities like how many legs an animal has or whether it can fly. But all too often, this concept gets misused in untrue statements, like pit bulls are a violent breed, men are more logical than women, or Asians are better at math.
What? Wait. Okay. Jesus fuck again. Okay, you're messing around with two different things, all right? Pit bulls can be violent, all right? I've seen statistics about the amount of like fatal bites, and pit bulls are way on the top. And you can even say like, oh, pit bulls are way on the top because it's fatal bites. A chihuahua bites but won't kill you and stuff like that. Yes, that's very true. But the main point here is pit bulls can be violent. Yes, it's an entire species of a dog. You can have that species be evil if you wanted. But Asians are good at math and, I don't know, women can't drive or some shit like that. These are stereotypes on the same species. A sentient species. Obviously, that's not true, and you're gonna have like outliers. I don't know. You're gonna have people outside of that description. It, you're conflating two different arguments here.
Now, chances are, if a game is set in the real world, that the designers are avoiding these tropes because they aren't real, as multiple fields of societal and hard science can readily prove to you.
Okay, so far, it's a weird video. Jesus fuck! No wonder you got so much dislike for this.
But speculative fiction offers us an opportunity to reify or make real various things which don't exist, or to exaggerate things which do. Now, bioessentialism is a tempting idea in fantasy for some of the same reasons as it is in the real world. Because to our human minds, broad generalizations are comforting.
Comforting. Uh, Wait, let him finish.
Reduce the world to simple cut and dry categories. All orcs bad.
Okay. I understand what you're saying, but comforting is a poor choice of words. Okay, it's an evolutionary trait and it works wonderfully. The point is, if I'm walking down the street and I see a fucking jaguar on the other side of the street, yes, I'm gonna think that that jaguar could fucking kill me because I know that all jaguars are fucking carnivorous. They eat meat. They're going to fucking kill me, right? And it's not because they're evil, it's what they do. So by generalizing a entire species, I have a higher chance to stay alive. I'm not gonna walk up to that jaguar and just ask him if he is going to eat me or not. Understand his point of view and stuff like that. So comforting is a weird choice of words. But okay, knock yourself out.
All elves good. Root for these folks, not for these folks.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but all elves good. Well, I'm sure that people in the Skyrim community have something to say about this, but I just think it's funny because every time I play a D&D game or something like that, something with elves in it, elves are never seen as the good race. They're always smug. They're always arrogant, to the point where they become borderline racist or straight up racist. They are always the pure race and shit like that. I just find it funny. Look at him smiling, fucking smug knife ear.
But just like in the real world, bioessentialism can present problems in fiction as well, specifically a moral one. The idea that a sapient species can inherently tend towards good or evil acts, or lawful or chaotic ones, and that.
Okay, not necessarily. You haven't proved to me anything about a creature who's intrinsically evil as something bad. All you said is just it's poor moral alignment. I don't know. The point is, what's the problem with having a bad creature? And here's the thing as well, they don't have a choice on this.
That moral essentialism actually undercuts the greatest strength games can bring to storytelling.
Straight up lie. Straight up a fucking lie. God damn it, just think about like the games who have straight up evil enemies. Like I don't know, I think Dragon Age, you know? I think in the Scorch as well. Zombies. Fuck, like you have so many creatures who could make a choice if they were like given the chance, but they are not by the game because they are straight up evil, and the game is not worse for it. What? There's so many good games and good movies that it's just straight up good versus evil. Not every game needs to be moral.
The players own power to make meaningful, interesting choices and judgments for their characters, including moral ones. So if a game's creative choices apply a moral valuation to every member of an entire species before the players even meet them, well, now that's just taking that power away from the players.
Okay, no. No, 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 no. The player can do whatever the fuck he wants, but that won't change the world around him. Oh, okay, so extra credits. Some things you can't change about the world of a game, right? You can't change that fucking trees are green in this world. And if one of those things is these creatures are evil, the player has no choice on that. It's just an enemy. Fucking kill it. Or if you don't want to kill it, here you go. If you feel sympathy for that monster and you don't want to kill it, why don't you take the pacifist route? Fucking lock that enemy up. You know? Find a way to weaken that enemy and just have it locked up. It's not like, oh, if I can't be friends with that enemy, then you're taking power away from me. You need limitations in a game. If a game has absolutely no limitations, be it moral or mechanic wise, it's not a game anymore. You're just playing God yourself. And most of the time, you're going to have like a fun game for, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours, and then you're going to stop playing because what's the point? Everything I touch fucking dies or becomes my friend in this game. Why would I? Just keep going, extra credits. This is such a fucking stupid video.
And in turn, if a group of orcs, for instance, doesn't even have a choice about their actions, are they actually evil?
Yes, yes, they are. Okay, so if you don't have a choice on what you're doing, but what you're doing is destroying something, that doesn't make you evil in a moral way. But still, if I can stop you by destroying you, I will.
Because look, if a person, say, destroys a house, we call that evil because they chose to do so. But if a tornado destroys a house, well, I mean, is wind evil?
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, again, if I had a machine or the power to stop a tornado, I would. It doesn't take away from the player. If you have a natural disaster coming your way, you have thousands of ways to prepare for that because you don't want your house destroyed. You don't want to die. Yes, it's not evil in a moral way, but if I could fucking shoot a tornado and it would stop, I would. I still don't get your point.
No. Therefore, if a game's world building chooses to program every member of a species to destroy, aren't they more like the tornado?
Yes, and they still need to be stopped. They're still in the world. You can still fight these guys. And if you don't want to, you can trap them. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You can try finding a way to brainwashing these monsters or something like that. But Jesus, it's not because they're inherently evil that... Just keep going. Just keep going.
Now, if the player's characters are able to make moral choices, but an entire class of NPCs is inherently evil regardless of their choice, then the game is either telling the player that moral choices don't matter, or it's simply driving a wedge between the player's morality and the morality that applies to the rest of the world, blocking the player from further becoming a part of it.
What? No! What the... Okay. If a player doesn't want to kill an enemy, but the enemy has to die for you to proceed in the game, you really think that he's not going to feel like remorseful? Oh, I didn't want to kill this guy, but I have to because the game is forcing me to. If you have that outlook on what's happening here, you're gonna think to yourself like, oh no, poor guy, why do I have to do this? Oh my God. And you actually feel for the character that you killed. You become more immersed than less. Even if that pisses off the player, most likely it's because of bad communication between the game and the player, but not because the enemies were straight up evil. It's just bad communication between the game telling the player that they need to do this and the player accepting that.
For instance, in Warhammer 40k, this inconsistency is central to the Imperium of Man's villainous creed. Individuals' human choices make them good or evil, whereas aliens are created evil.
Is it? Because from what I remember in 40k, you just kill everyone. There's no good guys in 40k. Isn't it like war, like in the future all there is war or some shit like that? Fuck, I never touched a 40k game before and I know this. There's even memes out there, like let the world know that the planet broke before the guard or some shit like that. There's the exterminus button, that you just press and the spaceship detonates a fucking planet. How is the humans good in this? Everyone is bad in 40k.
And of course, Games Workshop made that choice to facilitate a war game where lethal violence is the only option. But then folks also saw that in the 40k novels and RPGs, which required more interesting narrative complexities, Imperial heroes have to grapple with and recognize the illogic of that creed based on their own experience.
Again, I don't know shit about 40k, but even so, I think he's wrong.
Okay, but now you might be asking, what if you're playing the kind of game where you're engaging in violence because it's exciting and fun, not because of its moral dimensions, where the meaningful choice is about tactics rather than ethics? Maybe the goal is to take moral calculus out of the problem. Sure, one solution might be saying, all orcs are evil, go ahead and shoot them, but in that
Oh my god. He actually said something reasonable. Holy shit!
situation, as soon as someone inadvertently feels some empathy, as people often do for anything seeming even vaguely alive, the easy answer becomes less easy.
This is not the game's fault, alright? There are a lot of freaks out there who feel sympathy for fucking serial killers. It's not the game's fault. You design a game to be one way, and you interacting with that game in a completely different way is not the game's fault. It's the player's fault.
And if the goal of your game is to stop players from engaging in moral debates and just fight some bad guys, you kinda gotta say something more reliable than, oh, it's fine, they were all born this way.
Why? Literally, why? There are games like fucking Doom. Why the fuck would Doom explain to its players why demons are evil? You don't need that. You don't need that at all.
Fortunately, the real world's made progress on this problem, because sometimes in this day and age, people actually bear visual signifiers which say, I'm evil, not because of where I was born, but because of the choices I've made, such as Nazi uniforms and clan hoods.
Wait, god damn it. Okay. Extra credits. If what you're trying to say is that it's easier to mow down people who choose to be evil than it is to mow down forces of evil, like creatures born that way and shit, you're completely backwards here. You can talk to a Nazi and a KKK member. You can maybe influence their decisions. Fuck, the amount of people that left KKK and the Nazi party. People that stop and think to themselves, wait, are we the baddies? And you think it's better to mow down the Nazis and the KKK than it is to fucking destroy a tornado. I mean, yes, it's easier to mow down Nazis than stop a tornado. But you know what I'm saying, right? God damn it. I hope you guys can't hear that. It's just a police car outside. Or an ambulance, I don't know. The point is, if someone uses a signifier that they are bad because of their choices, the morality of the situation changes completely. Because right now, I could talk to them. I could change the idea that they have about why something is evil. You know, you can't talk and change the perspective of a demon on Doom. But you could talk to a Nazi and a KKK member and make them drop the whole Nazi spiel. Why the extra credits? Why is your first choice to kill Nazis and KKK? Why don't you reform them? Why don't you talk to these people? Fucking hell, dude.
Then in fiction, we have things like the Hydra logo, a clear visual signifier, but one that denotes choice, not birth. And if
Oh my fucking god. Again with this. Extra credits. Please don't punch Nazis, you know, as it was happening some years ago in Twitter. People were just fucking punching guys in the street that had the Nazi-like haircut. I feel like you guys would do that. Don't. Don't.
the statement that a game is making with its backstory and symbols is that an enemy had a choice and they chose wrong, then that gets way less complicated for a game that's interested in uncomplicated violence.
Does it? Because look at this picture, right? Look at this picture. You're telling me that that cultist is a fully sentient creature and he chose to be a cultist, right? That means that this person could change his mind if you actually talk to him. You know, if you sat down and had a conversation, maybe this cultist could change his mind. But no, here you are, just mowing down. Look at that. You're running into a unarmed person, shooting everyone down with a Tommy gun. And you think this is morally correct? Or that this has absolutely no moral components to it? Jesus fuck, no wonder the people hate this video. Extra credits, you're behaving like a sociopath, like a psychopath. What the fuck?
So whether a game does or doesn't want its players to overthink their character's moral choices, evil as a choice is just more effective than evil as a bioessential trait.
No, it isn't. You can't talk to an alien. You can talk to a cultist. You can maybe change his mind. Fuck, you can even brainwash him if you want to go like a fucking chaotic way. He wouldn't be your enemy anymore. But an alien? You can't do shit. It's like trying to talk to a fucking lion who's starving. You can't talk to him. Shoot him down. What the hell, dude?
But then, of course, if everyone wearing the evil team uniform happens to be an orc, or if every orc happens to have chosen Team Evil, the game wouldn't exactly be communicating that difference very well. A quick fix here would be to show some diversity in the evil team's hiring practice.
Okay, sit down. Where do you come from? Hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your evil backstory. You know, how many village have you pillaged? Okay, good. I'm gonna mark that as a maybe. We'll be in contact later on. Okay, bye-bye. Jesus fucking Christ.
For instance, with evil humans and elves as well as orcs. Or conversely, introduce orcs who have chosen good and neutral as well as evil. And a good example of a series getting better and better at this over time is Mass Effect. Because in the first game, Commander Shepard never meets a nice Batarian or a fun Geth. But then, spoiler alert, most of these evil species turn out to be as complex and interesting as the human ones as the trilogy progresses.
If they wanted to do that, it's fine. There's absolutely no problem if they wanted to do that, okay? But it's not a rule. where you're telling me that it's bad game design to have a evil race. You haven't proven that. If a game did something different, good for them. It's not an example of stellar world design. Holy shit! You know what I just remembered? Like, aren't orcs strictly evil in Lord of the Rings? You're gonna tell me that the world building of Lord of the Rings is flawed or is bad world building? Just because every orc is evil, just because Sauron is a motherfucker. Like, fucking hell. This is so wrong.
Broad moral generalizations about species or culture not only doesn't make internal sense, but it also leads to less evocative, less rewarding worlds and games.
Straight up false. Again, you can make it make sense. You know, it's like, oh, a zombie apocalypse, or the orcs in the Lord of the Rings. Just that they never existed before, they exist now. This is why the story is following you guys, because you need to fix this mistake, this corruption that's going on, that we just found out about it right now. Up until this point, the world was fully functioning, like perfectly. But now it's fucked, and that's why we're playing this game at this time. It makes complete sense internally, externally, in any way you look. God damn it.
But we can solve that problem by following our best creative instincts to diversify, deepen, and complicate the worlds we create and its denizens. This way, players won't be incentivized to make snap judgments about our game's orcs or aliens or undead based on moral absolutes or body types.
Yeah, go hug a zombie. Great idea, you know? Go talk to a lich. Just tell him that the world loves him no matter what. And see what happens. See what happens.
Instead, we'll all be driven to investigate, explore, and learn. Our players will invest themselves more in our games. And because they're human, ask the hard questions to push our design into even more enriching and unexpected places. Plus, maybe if we ditch this whole evil races line of thinking, if one day orcs or extra-dimensional horrors or even isekai protagonists pop out of a portal, they'll offer us humans the same courtesy.
What? What the fuck? Offer us the same courtesy? Why would they hate us if... You know what? Yeah, let me see if this is the end.
I'd call that a win-win.
It's not a win-win. It's stupid fucking broken logic and shitting on every single good game or good story that utilizes this trope. A trope is not inherently bad. It's how you execute it.
Once again, thanks so much to NordVPN for...
Jesus, NordVPN, you must be so fucking proud. Really.
For sponsoring this episode. If you're looking to protect your online activity from prying onion over...
Skip. 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 Skip.
A big extra credits thanks to Ahmed Ziad Turk, Alicia Bramble.
People paid for this. People paid for this. What the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, this is the end of the video. Alright. Now I'm gonna leave those names on screen. No, you know what? I'm not. I think this is bad for these poor people. Here, I'm gonna I'm gonna leave in this frame because this frame is good. You know, I understand small creators such as myself. You can see by the amount of subscribers that I have that I don't show these videos to like my family and stuff like that. You know, I'm still kind of shy with all these things. So I don't pass my script to anyone else. You know, I don't show anyone else what I'm writing, what I want to talk about. I just post the videos and hope that you guys can have a say and if it's good, if it's bad, if I should change something, stuff like that. But extra credits, they're already a big channel. Like, look at that. You know, you can show your script to someone else. You can show your animations to a select few before you post. And it scares me that people looked at this image and didn't think to themselves, you know what? I think this is a bad idea. Seriously, I'm thankful that I'm no longer subscribed to extra credits, because holy shit, this video just proved, it just shows how bad at morals you are and how malignant you can be. Why would you mow down sentient creatures who can choose to be bad or evil? You could talk to them, but you think it's better to mow down people who have a choice than to mow down creatures that are simply evil. It's extra credits, seriously. I think this is worse than the I didn't choose to be a Nazi bit that you guys did a few years ago. And I'm actually glad to see this dislike ratio down here. Because why would you make this video? Seriously. There's just one thing left to do. Click. And I'll see you guys around.
You never see it come down.